Okay, I'm going to make this one fast because the last one didn't take the way I wanted it to because it was too long. So, my review of the Harry Potter park. In a nutshell, don't go when there's a crowd. Don't go on holidays. Don't go in the summertime, on vacation time, special vacation times, unless it's the only time you can go. When I went, it was Veterans Day. Next day, kids had school. That almost got screwed up on me, but it didn't. So let's just leave it at that. Basically, what the people with room keys go first. They get to go to the Cat in the Hat side, and then they divert all the other people the other way around. You have to wait. That's in the morning. And at 9 o'clock, you're able to go down to where the Harry Potter Forbidden Journey ride is. It's around that side. And when we went, the ride said 45 minutes. It didn't take that long at all. So that was a good thing. It only took like less than 30 minutes. Excuse me. The castle is okay. I wouldn't make a big deal out of it. I wouldn't worry about stopping to see everything because it's not all that they make it out to be. It actually, it looks like a museum, to me. They send you, there's a couple of statues of things from the movie. It's not as big and as beautiful as the castle you see in the movie. That's what your anticipation is. You think it's what you're going to see. You see a small section where there's pictures talking, and it's like, ooh, wow, whoop-de-doo. And then they send you into the greenhouse area where the lines go up and down. But it's really just, looks a little, they try to make it a little old-fashioned-y type, like the greenhouse there, but it really doesn't look like the greenhouse that's over there. I think they could have did a lot more with it, but they didn't. They didn't do a lot of animatronics. They didn't do a lot of anything, really, with it. So basically, after you get out of that line section, you go back into the castle, and then that's where, which if you YouTube, you can see it, and it's probably just better off so you can just get on the ride. It's nice, but it's not worth hanging around like this and waiting for a long time and letting people pass you up, and so that you could stay there for 2 hours watching Harry and Hermione come out and to talk. And then Dumbledore does the same thing. And then after you get through all of that and just visually seeing some things that are in some of the rooms, like I said, it's some replicas of what's there, but it's not all of everything that you would expect. Then you get on the ride. The ride is a big bench. Okay, what's nice about the ride is it's a little different than most rides. The way it moves, it's on an arm, the ride, and you don't see this. 4 people can sit on this bench. You don't see the other 4, even though you're with them. You don't see them. The way they have the ride, you're covered, and you pull down this safety bar, and don't worry about it. If you have a horrific back, terrible beyond belief, because my back is humongously, my back and neck are horribly bad, and I had to go to several doctors just to get it into shape to be able to go with whatever. And that was my biggest worry. Walking around the park was even harder than going on this ride, because it's only 4 minutes. The arm can actually spin you in a circle if it wanted to, but it doesn't. It works very smoothly. And it's actually not even simulated, so I don't know what it's simulating. Soaring was more simulated. Soaring, you felt like you were flying. This feels like you're just kind of moving through, So that I wouldn't worry about. You kind of go through it. You're supposed to be, you get this green puff of smoke. You're going through a flu thing. It's supposed to be like a flu powder. What the coolest parts about that ride are anything that's animatronic. Anything else is a blur. It's a complete blur. And the best way to describe it is go to Insidethemagic and read the spoiler. That's the best way to understand the ride. If you're really worried about how the ride's going to be, read Ricky Brigante's review of it, the spoiler, and it really gives you a play-by-play of what the ride's about. And I agree with pretty much 90% of what his views are, if not 100% of Insidethemagic. So I would definitely go there, and I'll post that on there for you, so you can go straight to the link. The best things are the dragon. the spiders, and the Whomping Willow. People make a huge deal about the Dementors. My son liked them. I didn't even see that they were there. To me, it looked like a big bowl of, I don't know, paper towels thrown with a sheet over it. It weren't scary. I have no idea what people thought. I was like, what was that? And half the time, there's a lot of yelling. It's dark. It's screaming. You don't even know what's going on. It's like you hear yelling, like, oh, get away from them. You're like, Harry, get away from who? You know, where? What are you looking at? And then, but before you know it, you see the whole team there. Everybody's clapping, and it's over with, and that's the end of that. So that's the ride. The village is cool. I like the village. The thing is with that is that it gets so crowded. You know you're at a theme park because it's like, oh, you're walking through Hogsmeade. It is. It looks like Hogsmeade if everybody else would just leave. It's just overly crowded. It's packed constantly, and it's hard to get into anything. The stores, a couple of the stores that people really want to go into, like Devilish and Blocks or whatever the hell they call it, is 2-hour wait, and you're standing outside. That's not fun. Nobody wants to do that. That's not enjoyable. And I wouldn't do it, and I don't suggest that you bother to waste your time because you can get some of those things online. You can get most of those things online that they're selling in there. Go to Filch's Emporium. They got a lot of stuff. You can get most of the wands, except for with exceptions a few outside. You don't have to go to Ollivander's to get the experience. You can watch the experience on YouTube. The hell do you got to go and get the experience for? So you can watch. You spend 2 hours on the line just to watch the things glow up and the thing. Don't even bother. It's not worth waiting and wasting the time of your day when you can be going and doing so many other things. Because it's not that big of an area. Honeydukes is great. My biggest suggestion: get pumpkin juice. Get the pumpkin juice. The pumpkin juice is phenomenal. Love the pumpkin juice. You gotta get it. I do have some other videos that actually show the bottle of pumpkin juice, but you can't hear the voice. So in my videos, look for the other videos. Some of them, the voices got messed up. You're going to hear the review of it again. You can check the review out again. It's in more detail. And I suggest looking, even if you can't hear the voice, you might see some of the things that I'm showing you. You can go through it easy. But the other YouTube videos did not come out. I don't know why, but they didn't come out right. Hopefully this one comes out good. I got my son a broomstick. I got him a wand. The 3 broomsticks was great. They actually had great food. They had great chicken and ribs when I went. They had the butterbeer. Gotta get the butterbeer. And there's actually, I've been searching for a recipe all this time for butterbeer, and everybody's been coming up with these recipes and they're warm butterbeer, but it's different type of butterbeer. But finally, today, we found it on Baking Dome. Somebody came very close to making the Universal's butterbeer. So go on Baking Dome. You can even find it, I guess, on Ask Jeeves or Ask. I think they have now Baking Dome, and I'll put that link on there too. Butterbeer, and it says, "Oh yes, friends, butterbeer." So you can put that on there, and you can find how she actually makes the froth on top and stuff, because it's very hard. You're going to find 1,000 links to butterbeer, and it's never going to be the same as what you've had in that park, because that is phenomenal, and you got to try it. It's cold, it's delicious, it's wonderful. You got to have it. The turkey leg my son had at 3 Broomsticks was a little dry, but the chicken and ribs dinner was actually phenomenal. It was really, really good. Let's see what else. Honeydukes, gotta go to Honeydukes, gotta get, the line there wasn't that bad, and it's connected to Zonko's. You have to get the, we went in there and got only a limited amount of stuff we got, because we didn't really care about the other stuff. The Birdie Box, every flavor of beans I had to try, and it was hysterical because it had everything in there. They had like rotten eggs, which was the most nastiest. I tried that, and it actually smelled, once you bit into it, the odor, anybody can smell it around you, the odor. So we were having fun playing around with those. And it is like playing around with them, because you're trying them and you're like, ugh, you know, that kind of thing. So it was really, really funny just to try those. Those are cool. He got a chocolate frog, even though he doesn't like chocolate. He just wanted the cards. And then my father wanted a chocolate cauldron, even though he's not supposed to have sugar. But none of us really are. So, what else was there? It's really just cool to walk around there if you can walk around there. That's why I suggest don't go when it's crowded. It's not worth going when it's crowded. If you haven't gone, go and see it. Just like I said, don't go when it's like a holiday and stuff, or when it's really you know, the dueling, the dragon rides. It's just the dueling dragons. They just changed the name. The Hypocrite was the old Flying Unicorn. They just changed the name. Hagrid's Hut you can hardly see, you know, because it's so far back. Other stores you can't really get into, and that ruins it. That really ruins it. My final assessment is this: what they could have done for Harry Potter, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and what they did do was a shame, because you're talking about 7 books, 8 movies, so much material. They had plenty of toys, not one house elf toy, not one, anything like that. No Hagrid toys, no dolls of Harry Potter. They have a doll of a Voldemort doll, you know, things like that. No really like animated talking hat, you know, nothing like really cool like that. So things like that. You know, they could have had a flying Forbidden Forest car ride where they can sit 4 people in a car and go through the Forbidden Forest. They could have had so many different rides, so many different sections. They could have had a main street like Disney, and they could have made the castle in the center or castle off to the side, and the dinner section the way they do at Busch Gardens with all the long tables, and had Slytherin and Gryffindor or whatever, and you know, on the side go get your food and then have a little show where the curtain opens and they could have did something so much better. There's so much more they could have did. It just aggravates me that they didn't, because they could have. And being that there's an epilogue, they can always revisit this movie many, many years later, and they can just keep it going. And people would go to that kind of a park over and over again if they would have just had Imagineers to take their time building the park instead of rushing it. But they didn't. However, I do like it. I think it was a good idea, and if you haven't seen it, go see it. And definitely get the butterbeer and the pumpkin juice, and enjoy yourself and enjoy what you do see when you do go. So that's it. That's it for me. Hopefully I see you guys again soon. I don't know if I'm going to get on again before my birthday. That's December 1st. And if I don't, well, I wanted to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. And hopefully I'll get on before Christmas. But if I don't, Merry Christmas. But I'm sure I will. And that's it. Ciao.